Hey guys, it's Jason from the Bead Gallery, and I'm going to show you how to ream and drill your beads. So this is basically, I guess, a setup, because usually we don't work this clean. This is how I work. I'm being truthful. This is how I work. This is reamers. So reamers are tools, extensions of our motorized tool or our manual tool that allows us to make holes bigger. Okay.
I'm gonna go get some big hole pearls to show.
I have some. Oh yeah, we can do that. I have a small hole pearl right here. And what I want to do with this one is I'm going to ream it so that I can fit it in a very large wire, again, 10 gauge wire. Okay. So large hole beads tend to look like this. Okay. Large holes. Okay. And we're going to ream these out to about 3 millimeter, which is my go-to size. Okay. This is approximately 3 millimeters at the base of the shank. Okay. If you haven't been to our website, we carry a number of reamers. This is our small reamer, sold in a pair. This is great for small pearls and whatnot. Jim, you can hold on to that. I can read it over here on this side, so you can read that. This is our larger reamer, our long reamer, and this is great for that, like I said, that 3 millimeter hole shank. And then we have this 45 degree, I call it a cleanup tool. It keeps the hole nice and clean, gives it a nice little, if you have a carbide bit, they call this a, oh my gosh, it's countersink, escaping me. Okay, but this is not a true countersink because there's no grooves in it. All right, so that's a 45 degree cleanup tool, and that's it for the reamers. Okay, so big holes, or if you just want to clean it up, do they fit a Dremel? Yes. So everybody, if you have a Dremel, okay, if you have a motorized tool with a you have a collet changer, a multiple number of changers, or if you have a universal, collet, and they have these, okay, if you have this universal collet, you're good to go because you don't have to worry about sizing. Okay. If you have the manual collets, if I'm not mistaken, they're either an 1/8 or 3/32. Okay. But this one will allow you to use any size reamer or drill bit. Okay. Yes. If you guys are doing it by hand, and I'm going to show you guys all of that today. The way we cut holes here in the shop is using a core drill bit. It's the safest way. I also do have on the website one drill bit that I like because it has a really strong shank, and it's a twist drill bit, but it's all diamond coated. Everything you see here is diamond coated. And we don't cut dry because, one, you can overheat your bead and you can break it and you can hurt yourself. All right.
And it strips all your diamonds away.
It does. So you want to cool your diamond bit using water. Water is our basic lubricant here in the shop. And it's cool. And it literally is cool. It keeps it. These core drill bits are hollow. So they cut a hole and then you can pop them out. Okay.
Oh, you know, one other thing why we want to keep it wet is all of the dust that's created, especially when you drill pearls. It can be dangerous.
So,
right?
water, besides being a coolant, is a dust catcher. Because if you guys aren't, if you guys don't have a dust vac, a way to suck up all that bad stuff floating in the air, it doesn't provide safety. Okay. So remember, yeah. So I see comments, dust. Yes. Dust is a problem in any workshop, and water tends to keep all that dust contained. So this is your basic reamer. I like the aluminum ones versus the wooden ones. They allow a little bit more grip. These are made in the US. The blue anodized is my favorite because it doesn't rust on me. You know, I just do that. And this one has a grip right here. So you hold this, or you hold this, or you hold both of them like this, and then you continue to ream. That's basically it. That's it. You can either go like this in the full clockwise or counterclockwise motion. It's up to you. I prefer a pushing away motion because I get more strength from that, and in the water. And that's it. You keep on going. You flip it around, you do the other side. Any questions? I hope not, because there's more to this demonstration. Okay, cool. We sell this on the website. Like Jamie said, this is actually the second generation. We have a third generation that has, instead of steel collets, it's brass collets. So it's a little bit softer and it's a little bit more forgiving. And it allows us to really speed up the work process. These run between 1,000 and 1,800 RPM. Okay. And it really is a lot faster than doing it by hand. And I'll just do a few, just so you can see the action going on here. And then it's just an in and out action, just like this. And you can see the pearl dust kind of making its way out of the bead hole and into the water and not in the air. It's not aerosolized or anything like that. All right. And then here, we'll go back on the opposite side and we'll do this. This is my basic model. Okay, this is something very light, and it is the basic model of a motorized tool, a hand tool. If you want to upgrade to the mid-range, which would probably be a Dremel or a Proxon. Okay, so all of these bits are universal in the sense that if you have a universal collet, you shouldn't have a problem. If you have a standard collet, make sure that you have one that can fit 3mm for the large one, and just a little bit smaller for the smaller reamer, and you're good to go. Okay, this is our flex shaft. This guy right here.
If you want to do your nails, you can. If you want to polish, deburr, smooth out metal, you can. Mm-hmm. If I think I might try to do waffles as nails with it.
Yep.
I think you can.
You probably could.
Yeah.
You probably could. So this has a 6 horsepower, and maximum rotation is 18,000 RPM. And you can see that I'm already halfway through the drilling process. Yeah, thanks, Jim. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to work this side. I'm going to make this the width of the shank of this, so about 3mm. So I'm going to be in the water. Again, checking all that stuff that's happening, just in case. Yep, we're good.
All right. It's good to have a wire tester on the side. Now, if you're like, what is a wire tester? I'm going to run out and show you mine.
I have it here.
Oh, can we show them that wire tester?
Yep.
This is something you should make if you don't already have one.
So these are our wire testers. I have from 28 gauge to 20 gauge wire testers. And then Jamie in her hand has from the 18 all the way up to the 10. I might have an 8 in there, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why do you like having a wire tester, Jason?
Because I can check the hole size in its gauge form versus the millimeter form, because I just said this is 3mm. Okay? In your head, you're probably trying to convert that into gauges. I have the gauge conversion on my wire tester as well.
Oh, you're so smart.
Yeah.
So you have the millimeter and the gauge.
Yes.
Perfect.
The Dremel motor, as well as this motorized tool, the motor's in here. The motor isn't in here. It's within, if you follow it up, James, it goes up. The motor's here. The motor's right here. The motor's not here. If you drop this in the water, you're okay. No shock, no thing. Nothing's gonna trip. Your fuse box isn't gonna trip or anything like that. So it's very safe. So, and of course you have a lot of torque.
So that's the motor.
So if you imagine this motor in your handset,
you can take all the calluses off your feet really fast. That was someone's comment earlier.
Really? Go for
No,
it,
I'm just joking. I don't know that I would
no
do
judgment
that.
here, man. No judgment. Okay, this is a multi-use tool. All of these are multi-use tools. I use this for a file holder. For my mini needle files, I use this as a file holder. I use this as a light polisher. I'll use this for everything else. I'm going to show you guys how to drill a hole in a piece.
Okay, this is bomb.
So,
what you're about to learn, how to drill a hole, which is different than making a hole bigger.
You can do a hole with this. You can't drill a hole with this unless you really want to take time.
Oh.
So this is, I'm going to drill some sea glass, some Hawaiian sea glass.
Sea glass.
This was, these are all from our friend on Kauai, from her glass beach. Okay. So when you drill glass is quite hard. If you try to do it with a carbide bit, a twist drill bit, you're going to snap it and you will break. One thing will break, either the bit or the glass. So I'm removing the reamer and I'm attaching this. And this is a core drill bit. And I use a 3mm for obvious purposes because it is my favorite and it's the easiest to hold and it cuts pretty fast. Okay, so I'm going to cut this. Let me see if I can use the other side of this. Yeah, better. Okay, so I can see better. That's too dark. I'm going to use this one because it's lighter so I can see what I'm drilling. So depending on what I'm drilling. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to use my flex shaft to do this because it is the easiest one to do. Quick tip, if you want to do, is this going to be a pendant or is this going to be a link? Pendant?
Oh, pendant.
Pendant. So Jamie has brought something over.
So I'm just going to show you something super fun. If it's thin, like this shell, and you want to make a hole in something thin, I'll hold it from the side so you can see. Then this handy dandy small reamer, it'll just go zip, zip, and it can make that easily. But what Jason is showing you, I want to show you from the side, is a lot thicker.
Yeah. And remember, shell is
like your fingernail. Kind of, right?
This is calcium carbonate, so it has it's harder and it's more, the granularity of it's tighter versus flexible. Your nail is flexible, right? Yeah. So you can pop a hole in there and it's really easy. But
this
is hard.
It's not going to be like zoot zoot. You'll see.
Yes, it is a hollow core. The hollow core. So the hollow core is right here, where the bit. So the diamond bit is this long right here. This is the shank. This portion right here is hollow. So it's like a hole puncher. Okay, it's like a paper hole puncher. Okay, so only it goes this deep. Once this gets filled, you're going to be limited to what it can do. So these exit holes allow you to pop it out, or it tends to break off depending on the hardness of your stone or your piece that you're drilling. So we're going to do glass. Glass punches out pretty easily. And I'm going to look at this before. I'm going to see if there's any other questions before I start doing this. Okay, so this is a 3mm drill bit, core drill bit. And I'm going to see if I can do this while watching you guys. You can also do this with a drill press. Okay, let's see how far we got. We got pretty far in here. Jimmy, can you hand me that ice pick? Yeah. So this is the core drill bit in action. You see what it's doing? It's creating. Have you guys watched those documentaries in Antarctica or in the Arctic?
When they're going for oil?
No, where they're cutting into the ground and they're pulling up stuff from the ground, and it's like years, decades, like hundreds. Yes, it's like an apple core. That's this right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that off. You saw what I did? You see what I did? I just cracked that off because I don't want this getting stuck in here, which I have to pick out later.
Here, I'll show you guys. And it's a real thing. I was drilling once and my glass went inside there. So Jason had to.
And what I do is I take a piece of wire and I pop it right out. Yeah. It's very doable, but if you have the chance to pull it before it pops like this, you can save it. And then there it is. That is a piece of glass. Okay.
Vicky says, why the drill with the hole instead of the pointed drill? You might have said it when I was running out.
The pointed drill is a reamer. It has no bite. It'll what happens is it'll skate.
It skids around. Yeah, it goes zip, zip, zip. It doesn't grab.
Yeah. So I like these because they're the easiest to teach with. If you have a diamond drill bit with a twist in it, it's still doable, but you can't really hold and do at the same time or demonstrate. And there's two ways to do this.
Oh, can I interrupt really quick?
Go ahead.
Wendy said, is it submerged in water?
Yes.
Motorcraft said, yes, Jason is holding it on a sponge-like material. Let me show you what that material is. Can I just tell you, Jason is a true Capricorn. There's no waste with him. He is so good at recycling, reusing, renewing. If you just have a tiny piece of wood, it doesn't get thrown away. It becomes the base that you drill on.
Yeah. So you can
take it out so they can see.
Yeah. So you can use a sponge. I prefer a soft wooden shim. So I have shims lying around all over the store. Besides building material, it's also my backing material. It's soft. It's light. It's super light. I mean, it's super soft. So,
and you don't have to squeeze it.
No, you don't.
To get all the water out.
So I'm almost to the end. And there's two ways you can do this. Okay, guys, you have to understand why I do this. It's almost ready to pop. And this is me so that you get less waste and you get less cracking. Okay, so you see this, it's about to exit. Two things can happen here. If your sponge or your piece of wood isn't flush up against this piece, this whole piece, you can have a blowout. I call it a blowout. To stop that from happening, what you can do is you see where that exit hole is. I'm going to now flip this over and then attack it from the front. Attack it from here. And then that will meet in the middle. Okay? And when that happens, you get less blowout. Okay? And there you go. Let's see if there's any blowout. I need my recycled towel. And then we're going to inspect. And there you go. No blowout. Nice and crisp, nice and clean. You see the edging? And that's it. Done. Now you have a Hawaii beach glass pendant ready to use. Again, here are some pieces. This is the piece weight and stuff. What's up? And then there's your bits.
I just want to show them a sampler they can make at home with their own burrs. Now, we should tell them, because I didn't know this, Jason taught me this, that all of these are made in different countries, these drill bits. There's no two drill bits alike.
Yeah. So all of these are available. So there you go. This is what I use right now, the 3mm drill bit. You know, the 1.5 is one of my most popular ones because this works really good with shells. Those Hawaiian sunrise shells that you saw Jamie showing you, that's what we use because it's such a small hole and so light, and it's pretty delicate.
1.6 twist. Okay, so this is what you can do. When you get your drill bits, you can drill something, run a cord through it, and write down what size it is. Because visually, it's one thing to say, oh, I want a 2mm hole, but then you're like, oh, I was just going to put a 16 gauge jump ring. You're like, whoa, that's huge. I have a lot of people who want to buy drill bits and they'll be like, I want a huge hole. So I'll be like, okay, well, here's the 4mm core drill bit. Then they're like, oh, I don't want it that big. So everything's a little bit different. Like once the, the perspective is on the piece as well. So when you get your drill bits, you can go ahead, drill something, even drill like a bead out with your large reamer.
Yep.
Put a string in there and just say this hole was made max on the large reamer, whatnot. So I want to teach you how to organize your mind as well as, your tools so that when it comes time to create, you are ready. You're not guessing and working around the same questions you had, like 2 or 3 years ago. And for us to be like 20 years ago, we had the same questions.
Got it. So we got a question. How do you smooth out the edges? Well, if you're talking about the edges that are on the hole edges, like from the outside, like here or here, that's what the 45-degree drill bit is used for. Again, if you're into woodworking, this is very similar to the countersink shape that you see in wood crafting. What this is going to do is it's going to create a more tapered hole versus a straight shot hole. Okay, so if you had some edging that it was cracked because you blew it out, you want to put this in here and you want to handhold this just like this. I handhold it so I can feel the piece.
Hold on, I'm coming.
And I'm going to overdo this so you guys can see the look of the taper. Okay, so I overdid it so you guys can see what I'm talking about in this taper. Because if you have some breakage on the edges of your glass, see how that makes that clean beveled look? Okay, so that clean beveled look is done with a 45-degree reamer.
Okay,
would you use a bit or reamer to make a hole bigger in glass pearl? Yes. If you, okay, again, everything is basically up to you. If you want to make the hole bigger, go for it. Remember that the material and the material that you're reaming can accept it. Okay. Okay. You may it might be a learning process. Some glass pearls are delicate, so you may not have the. If you haven't practiced enough, then things happen. You're going to break some. There you go.
Okay, I have another question.
Mm-hmm. When you handhold, you can use our alligator or crocodile tape. It's basically like that 3M tape that's wrapped around your arms when you give out when you give blood. That's
Can
this stuff right here.
your trick of how you put a little. Jason puts a little lip on the edge. Otherwise, it's hard to find it again. But I'm going to have him tape my finger to show you how awesome this tape is.
Okay, I got to find the edge because the other way is. Can you show this one?
Oh yes, you can use this to hold your bead. Is that what we're talking about?
Yep.
I missed that part. To hold your bead while you're drilling.
You can use a clothespin. You can also, if you have.
Oh, you know what my favorite one is? The one you have to knock. Yep, that thing.
And if you don't mind, if you have an old ring clamp.
That's the best.
With the leather tips, an old one, and you don't mind getting it wet, then you can use this. This is a ring clamp. It has both rounded sides and a square edge side. If you don't mind doing that, then you can use your ring clamp.
Let me show you how, because I told him the first time, I was like, I don't understand. Am I supposed to squeeze it the whole time? He's like, no, you don't squeeze. Hold on. You don't squeeze it the whole time. You take this and you wedge it in here, and that makes it tight. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Maybe my bead might. No, I think my bead's too big.
Oh, I can show them.
Here, I'll go on this side.
So that's a ring clamp, guys.
Okay.
So when you have a ring clamp, you can see how Jamie held it like that. It is bigger, so there's tricks to this.
Well, when it's that big, I just use my fingers to hold the bead. It's when it's tiny that it's hard.
Yeah, exactly. So they asked for 4 to 6 millimeters. This is a 12 mil.
Oh, let me go get one. Let me get a bead. Hold on.
So this is 12 mil. And if you want to do a 12 mil, you can, because your hands are tired. You can shove your piece in there like this and then wedge it like that on the back side.
This is not even a 6. I just grabbed an 8 because it was close by.
Okay. So grab your 8. You can pop it in there. Sorry, I'm holding on to this crocodile tape too. Just like that. And pop it in like this. Okay.
Did you answer Teresa who said, do you need to file the hole that you drilled?
No, not necessarily. If you want to, you can.
Only if it's rough, Teresa.
And when you mentioned file, again, if you want to ream it so it's clean, you don't have to, but you can. You know, if your drilling is offset, then I would recommend you ream it one more time so that the holes are even on front and back side.
I might have missed it. Someone also said that the holes look really sharp.
The holes look really sharp.
The edges look sharp. So then you can use
the 45-degree taper, like
this taper tool for anything that's sharp.
Yeah, so that's this. So you see how I cleaned up the hole?
Mm-hmm. Ooh, can I show this? This is Calvin's bead. His beads are tapered. They don't have rough holes. But if you ever bought a handmade glass bead, sometimes from India, and then you go like this on the ends and it scratches you, you can definitely take that 45. It looks like a little pagoda or a little hat. And that.
And I think I saw the demo. I did demo
out
this part already.
Oh, yes, yes. When you smooth that out. Yeah. So you can do it also on beads to smooth out the holes so that it won't cut through your beading cable, your soft flex, or whatever you're stringing on, right? Then another question was, what do you do with beads that are originally drilled crooked? That's a good one.
So if it has a hole, you need to ream it. If it doesn't have a hole, you need to drill it.
So you would ream it with something like this, Janine. So it's going to make the whole hole, it'll make the entire length of the hole larger, but it'll also make it even. And that happens a lot with Indian beads where they take the gem and they drill it like this. And sometimes it's crooked because they'll go in from here. Then they turn it around and they go in from here. So the middle part sometimes doesn't meet exactly. It sort of does, but it doesn't. It's because it was drilled from one direction and the other. So if you do make it larger and smooth it out the whole way, it turns into a wonderful bead.
There you go. So hopefully we answered those questions. Oh, the other thing, the hold. So the ring clamp, the wooden clothespin, and the alligator tape. So this stuff is great when it's not wrapped up like this. But for the most part, you just want to wrap this around your finger.
Yeah, ring clamps are, someone is just saying, Kim's saying ring clamps can be very inexpensive. Mm-hmm. They are. It's like less than $8, less than
it's $8.
Okay, so it's about $8 for a lifetime of holding things. And I just want to say thank you so much for all the questions. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate you being a part of our Ohana, keeping us in business so that we can keep you making stuff. That alligator tape is awesome. I have arthritis, so my fingers get sore. And if you take this tape, you can also do your sore joints before you start squeezing things.
Yep. I usually put it on my joint. Yeah.
And it's not sticky. Did you show them?
Yeah, not sticky. It only sticks to itself like this. Like again, it's like your blood donation tape.
And then I don't know if he's scared, but sometimes I just take a scissors and then you just cut through it because it's not gummy.
Yeah. And then you just nip it and then it rips right off.
Yeah. So that's the alligator tape. It is so good for when you're making jump rings and you're holding your wire. I love it for wire work. Janet says, I love that tape. Thank you, Janet. Yep. Janet, it can be our spokesperson for that alligator tape.
Yeah. So Facebook user, do you sell the hollow bits? Yes, it's on our website.
We sell all of these bits.
Everything you see here, the hollow bits range from the 1.5 millimeter. Hold on one second. The 1.5 millimeter to the 4 millimeter. Okay, just depends on how large you need it to be. Again, these are all diamond core drill bits.
Okay, let me say thank you so much, kind sir. That was
You're
a
welcome.
wonderful presentation.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh my gosh, we could probably keep going all day.
Yep, we could. Let me bring this.
Okay, let's do a little Mr. Rogers kind of exit where I will backtrack and follow you out, and you can tell us about some of your. Do you have any creative tips as we leave the show?
Yeah, stay safe. If you don't know
Waffles.
If you don't know what you're drilling, ask somebody. Okay, ask somebody. If you just want to go for it, Jen, go for it, but be safe about it.
We're eye covering.
We're eye covering. We're eye covering. What else is there? Make sure you're away from electricity to a point where it's not an issue. And yeah, have fun.